Time on his side, but still seems to be in a rush to impress and make his own name. MC Craig Stephen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the ring from Ilford, Essex, the Destroyer, Conor Benn.
It is, of course, far too early to start questioning whether this man will emulate his father. What we've seen so far is he is going to be exciting and fun to watch. 2 fights as a professional after a limited amateur career, made his debut in this ring in April. That went less than a round. A little bit tougher for him at the end of May in Glasgow when he went the full 4 with tough Luke Kelleher of Halifax. And even he came out of that one saying, you know what, I'm going to have to work on the defensive side of the game a little bit. Father Nigel not here tonight. He's come over from Australia for the first 2 fights, but he's stayed at home for this one. Conor says he talks to his dad every single day. Just wants to learn, wants to improve, wants to get better. He's in a good gym for that, the Tony Sims gym, where he spars with the likes of a real good pro like Ricky Burns. And he's not 20 till later this year, Jim. He's just soaking everything up at the moment.
Yeah, this is still his introduction into the pro game. The main thing is that, I mean, coming from, you know, a famous father, you have to find your own style. You don't want him trying to do it the way your dad did it. He's very aggressive. There's a lot of work to be done. In this stage of your career, you're practicing, you're learning. Don't be in too much of a hurry to get everybody out of there in 1 round, 2 rounds. Practice, develop. But he certainly looks a really bright bit of talent.
And mentally, he's pretty tough as well. I was very impressed with the way he handled his media commitments this week when Chris Eubank Sr. for some reason decided to get under his skin. He handled that with great poise and maturity, but also firmness. I was very impressed with this young man and his mental approach.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Hearn is proud to bring you 4 rounds of international super lightweight boxing. On the bell, our timekeeper, Mr. Bob Edgeworth. Referee in charge for this one from Watford, Mr. Bob Williams. Introducing in the red corner, wearing red with white on the scales, 9 stone, 12 pounds, 2 ounces. He comes to the ring in his 11th professional contest from Prague, Czech Republic, Lukas Radic. And in the blue corner, wearing the black shorts with silver trim, on the scales 10 stone, 4 pounds. A perfect record. 2 wins from 2 contests, 1 win inside the distance. From Ilford, Essex, the Destroyer, Conor Benn.
Come on, Ben. Okay, lads, obey my commands. In the event of a knockdown, the fighter standing will go to the furthest neutral corner and stay there. Defend yourself at all times. Touch gloves.
This is probably not a good moment to go wandering off and seeing what's happening elsewhere. Conor Benn is all action. And the fella in the other corner, Lukas Radic, has 3 wins to his name, the man from the Czech Republic. None of his victims had a win between them. He's made 1 previous appearance in the UK. He was stopped inside a round by Antonio Cunahan, who's the son of Birmingham trainer Paul Cunahan, inside a round. He'll be hoping to go a little bit better this time. But Benn is a flurry of activity and whirring arms and fists when he gets going. Doesn't think about defense, as you say, Jim. He's still very much in the learning phase of his career. But he was saying this week, I want to show some more boxing ability rather than just coming out all guns blazing. Let's see if he'll take his time with Radic here and just put on a little bit of a show.
Yeah, well, as I say, this is a stage you want to practice things that you've been trying out in the gym. You're practicing for real. You know, it's not just a case of jumping on opponents and trying to get them out of there. You want to do the job in a professional manner, and that way you'll develop. He certainly has a fair bit of skill and power.
Picked a couple of nice shots there and got himself out of range. And that was a nice little combination he just threw there as well. We've seen a bit more movement, a bit more footwork, and a lot more thought in this opening minute or so than we've seen in his previous fights. Picked another nice shot around the back of the guard there. Radic, a little bit desperate there.
Yeah, that's good defensive stuff from Benn. You know, nice upper body movement, concentrating on what's coming back as well as what he's doing. This is good.
Good, sharp, fast hands as well here, Conor Benn. Well, he's showing a lot more poise than we saw in the first two fights, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, if he gets this fella out of there in one round, fine, because it's been a controlled bit of boxing what we're seeing from him. He's kept his cool, good cool head, picking some lovely punches and taking pretty much nothing in return.
Well, in the last fight that we saw when Ricky Burns, the night he became a three-weight world champion in Glasgow, oh, he knocked it shot. And then followed up with a left hook, and down goes Radic. Real viciousness in those shots. Now he's got 40 seconds to get through here. Can Benn get him out of there inside a round? That'll do it. I don't think he's getting up from that. That is waved off by Bob Williams quite rightly. That was a very heavy knockout indeed. Dr. Ashwin Patel is already in there, and Conor Benn has realised, hang on, let's just make sure this fella's okay before we do any celebrating. Bob Williams, the referee, wisely just takes Benn into a neutral corner. That really was a heavy one.
Yeah, that was a kind of unfortunate situation because you knew exactly what was coming, but I mean the referee really couldn't have rescued him. There was no reason for a referee to step in there, but you pretty much knew, you know, what was coming. And full credit to young Benn. He's not celebrating, you know, he's shown concern for his opponent as he lies there. I'm sure they'll be keeping him there as a precaution, but that was a heavy finishing blow.
Yeah,
and he went down heavily.
And that was Conor Benn's immediate reaction as well. Nobody told him to go over and check on the opponent. He just went straight there. He knew, hang on, this might not be too clever here. Tony Sims has just gone over to have a look, and I think he's come away satisfied that this is going to turn out okay. He's on his feet, and relief around the O2, and no one more relieved than Conor Benn. For a moment there, we were worried. That was a very heavy knockdown indeed. Shows the kind of power he's got when he times his punches, Conor Benn.
I mean, if we're being honest, we pretty much expected a quick night for Conor Benn. 1 round, 2 rounds, it's okay, but the manner in which he did it, it was control all the way, a cool head. And then when he saw his chance, first knockdown, left hook, there it goes. Good, solid punching. He has natural balance, and that's where power comes from. So at this stage, we pretty much knew what was about to happen, but I mean, you can't fault anybody, you can't fault the referee or anything, because there was no reason to step in at this stage. But you know, big punches coming from Benn. That's the left hook scoring the first knockdown again we're seeing.
And the second one was a real sickener, wasn't it?
Yeah, you can actually hear the punch as it landed. Bang, there it was. Caught on the way down. I missed that in real time. He actually took a left hook as well when he was on the way to the floor.
And Bob Williams took one look at that and didn't bother with a count, and the doctor was straight in. He knew. And that could have been a nasty one. That really could.
But thankfully everything's okay, so we can just talk about the
Conor was watching on the big screen and allowed himself a little smile here. That's how you finish a fight.
Yeah, well, he's entitled to. I mean, that was a job really well done. Took virtually nothing the time it lasted.
And the word I'd use for this fight from his previous two, control. He controlled this whole fight right from the start. There was real measure and menace to go with his punches here, rather than just heads down, bombs away that we saw last time out.
No, you can see him there landing the left hook, then slipping the counter, and then coming back with the right hand. And then the left hook to finish the job, which wasn't needed. The job was well done by then.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 2 minutes and 31 seconds of round number 1. Referee Bob Williams dispenses with the count. The winner by technical count out. The journey continues for the undefeated destroyer, Conor Benn.
Well, it's not easy carrying around the surname of a living legend. That's what Conor Benn has to deal with. But he's forging his own path here. 3 fights, 3 wins, real excitement, 2 stoppages, very, very early in his career, of course. Nobody's going to get carried away too much yet. Much, much sterner tests ahead of him. But you can see why there's some excitement around Conor Benn. He's clearly learning, and he's learned a lot since his last fight in May. That was a very, very impressive performance as well. Let's see what he thinks of it. He's with Andy Scott.
Conor, an explosive finish after a patient and controlled build-up. Was that the exact sort of controlled performance you wanted to produce tonight?
Yeah, I think I've shown I can fight. It was time for me to really take my time today and really start learning how to box, and you know, eventually it will all blend in together. You know, by the end of the year, let's see what machine I can turn out to be.
It was blood, guts and thunder up in Scotland. Were you stung at all by the criticism that you got?
Not at all. Not at all. I listened to my trainer, and that's the only criticism I accept. You know, he's the one who knows what I've got to do and what I need to work on, so that's the criticism I take, and I take it very well.
Back here at the O2, are you enjoying the following that you're getting here?
Mate, O2's starting to feel like home for me. I mean, performing in front of this crowd's unbelievable, and I mean, look at the reception I've got.
Let's grab a quick word with your trainer, Tony Sims. Tony, was that the exact sort of performance that you wanted to see after the Luke Kelleher fight?
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's still a novice and he's got loads to learn, but the last fight he was too erratic, come out swinging, got carried away with the crowd. But I think he's learned a lot from that, and tonight he was nice and calm in his performance, and he boxed, and that's what he can do. He can punch, and if he boxes like that, he can take anyone out at that stage of his career.
The journey continues. Well done.
Well, Johnny.